Super BS.
What up, my doodlies? It's Branky here from Super BS. We're ready to rock it to you with some games. I'm joined by my compatriot.
Janker.
You can do
Jankerson, Janky. You know, I really need to start thinking about this before we start talking so that I can better prepare
The name. That's
my name. My name.
That's
What
the most
is my
important part.
name? This is
What is your
the
name?
biggest question that I've ever asked myself. Who am I?
The main question I ask is, what is a name? I don't
What
really
is it?
care so much what my name is. What is a name? What does
What
it
is a
mean?
name? It's a label. Yeah.
It's a label. It's a construct. So what have you been doing? Just watching Mulan on repeat at your house every day?
Just watching Mulan on repeat. Yes, every day, all
You
day.
just love the fact that witch turned into a million bats, and
She
you
did.
hated Mushu.
She did. What happens if one of those bats flies away, though? Does she lose a part of herself?
That we will never know, and it's impossible to know, okay? But she's a witch, and she will do everything she can in that world. By the way, I haven't watched Mulan yet, but I watched a pitch meeting on Screen Rant for it. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those. It's like a guy who makes jokes about how ridiculous movies can be.
Yes,
And
yeah.
I watched two of his other ones too, Last Jedi and Rise of the Skywalkers, and I definitely have to say Mulan was his best one because he also cuts videos in there, and I was all excited for Mulan. I thought, oh, this would be cool. It's going to be a little bit like more real telling of it. And then he started talking about it, and it's like the most ridiculous looking film I think I've ever seen from the clips at least he provided, where it's wait, what?
It was a martial arts movie at its heart, directed and written by white people.
Yeah, man. I have no problem with like the directors doing it, even if they're not like qualified to, but I do have a problem with like a screenplay that has, you know, a crazy magician that also somehow just like, I don't know, does whatever they want and also moves the story forward. Did you watch it or no?
Yeah, I did watch
okay.
it. And
Yeah.
so if it were put in the hands of like a capable Asian director that has done kung fu movies and like,
Yeah.
especially ones that revolve around historical epics, or even someone like Disney now has Ridley Scott in their wheelhouse. Like Ridley Scott has experience in movies like that. So if they were to, you know, incorporate one of those two elements instead of this lady whose rise to fame was We Bought a Zoo, I think the movie would have come out a lot better.
You know, even if they would have done, I'm just looking for his name, Justin Lin, if they would have had him as the director for like Fast 5, that would have been dope because that guy is really good at a lot of his stuff. That would have been fun. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I'm sorry, it's Zookeeper's Wife is what she directed, not We Bought a Zoo.
Okay, sorry. That's a big mistake on your part.
Yeah, I don't want like the hate email saying like, "Hey, Nikki Cairo directed the best movie about zoos ever made, and you got it wrong. Just so we don't care about the one with Matt Damon. You know, it's just we got to get our facts right."
Yeah, the fans are gonna go wild on this one. Okay, man.
They are.
Our 5 fans, age 40 plus, non-gender, according to Anchor.fm,
Or non-binary fans.
Non-binary, they are going to go insane on you right now for doing Zookeeper's Wife too.
I'm sorry.
Well, we'll see if you're forgiven, but don't be surprised we lose a fan or two from that mistake. So what have you been playing?
So I've been playing more Spiritfarer. Just not a lot to say about that one.
I haven't got to the part where you drop off a spirit yet. Have you gotten there at least?
I haven't. I've been trying to like unlock parts of the map. Like last night I hit an ice wall, so I'm assuming that like there's a seasonal
You need a new
change.
power. No, you need like a new power to do that.
Okay,
so you probably have to like get a new spirit.
All right. Well, right now I'm just kind of pushing back all the shadow on the map as much as I can. I ended up in like some corporation last night, and I just haven't played since then. But I do have 3 passengers on my boat now. One's a snake, one's a
Nice.
frog, and one's a deer, I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have the frog and the deer. And I could be wrong. It might not be a power. You might need to like upgrade your boat because I know you can go to the shark dude and he'll do stuff like that.
Well,
But
lot of the resources you need to build more things, I haven't come across them on any of the islands yet. So I'm assuming there's like a story beat I have to hit, or I just have to keep exploring till I find them. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I totally need to get back to that game. I haven't played it since like I played the first week it came out. There is just too much stuff coming to Games Pass right now for me really to jump back in yet. But I do like that game a lot. I think that's really, really neat.
It's a whale on the screen.
If this was a video podcast, everybody could see the whale from Spiritfarer. That's the main thing. That's our mascot. Josh bought it. He created on Etsy. He's got an Etsy store for Spiritfarer. If you want to go support him, go on.
Do you see their? This is completely unrelated, but they're doing animatronic dolphins now at water parks instead of.
That makes
real ones.
That makes sense.
So.
There's no real dolphins, so you better put an animatronic one in there. I don't, man, the future's weird. But that is, I guess, not so surprising. I went to a restaurant yesterday, and I was about to get chicken wings there. But I read what the chicken was, and it's actually meatless corn chicken, spelled CHIK apostrophe in or whatever
like the band
spelling it was.
Is it like KO backwards RN?
Corn.
Real corn?
No, it's QUORN, which I haven't heard of, but it's some like meatless thing, and I have heard that they're like growing meatless chicken, I guess, like not non-real chickens in labs to make chicken fingers and stuff. The future is crazy, dude, but Super PS is going to pivot to a podcast about the future of tech and science because it is
chickens.
Oh, and chickens, man. That's the main. That's all tech. So that's all tech is chicken tech. So
you can find us more stuff by us at www.ko_rn.com. As well as some music by the band too.
Yeah, that's actually our music. But so don't let those guys deceive you. Those people in Corn, okay? Corn's not the guy with the guy who has the monkey face, right? That's Limp Bizkit. There's a guy who has like a monkey face.
He has the backwards hat, the red backwards hat.
I can't remember if he has a red backwards hat, but he makes his face look like a weird dude. I think he goes by Monkey Face or something.
No, Monkey is in Korn. He's the guitar player, I think.
Okay, so I was right. No. James Schaefer. Okay, so he goes by Monkey MUNKY. But there's this dude in, I think, Limp Bizkit, guitarist. And this guy's name, let's see, Wes Borland.
Yeah, he always dresses up like a robot on stage. He's
okay. Maybe I was wrong. I just remember as a kid being terrified of Wes Borland. Because he was gonna come and eat my soul. So I was very concerned. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He definitely has some weird costumes, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was just weird. Yeah.
He did it all for the nookie.
All for that cookie, so you can take that. Okay, so besides Spiritfarer, what have you been playing?
Streets of Rage 4, which I did play to completion.
Yeah, you mentioned you started it last week. What can you say? It's like a brawler, right? What else can you add to it?
It's a brawler. It's not like, I don't know, it's very nostalgic, but it's not something that I came away from really having enjoyed, if that makes sense.
I think that's all brawlers. I played more of Battletoads, and it's fun for what it is, but it's not amazing. It's a brawler. You go, you punch stuff, you hit stuff.
Yeah, well, so you can do, much like in the old ones, you can go, it's multi-directional, right? So you can go up and down the screen as also side to side. Yeah, but there is, what I was really hoping for with this one would be some kind of block function, and there isn't one.
Oh, okay.
So you really have to strategically punch. You have to do a couple punches, back up. And they have a semi combo system. But what really I guess the one big function that they put in there, or gameplay mechanic, if you will, that they put in that is different. There's a special system, so you can press. You don't just have your jump and punch buttons anymore. You can press. I think it's Y if you're playing on Xbox, and you do this like cool multi-punch thing. But here's the kicker: it takes away health.
Oh wow, okay.
So yeah.
For me, it's like bonkers that we're in the year 2020 and 2 or 3 small beat 'em ups came out: Battletoads, Streets of Rage 4, and then the biggest AAA game that neither of us played. So that's the only reason why I'm going to mention it here. Marvel Avengers came out this week, and it's essentially just like a beat 'em up with RPG trappings. And like I don't know why. I mean, beat 'em ups were fun back when we were kids and games couldn't do a lot. So it was like, whoa, you can punch guys? This is crazy. But we have like advanced a lot, and combat has become technical in a lot of games where you can make it really interesting. So it does kind of seem strange that there's still a lot of games being made where it's like, yeah, I mean, from what you're talking about, I think Battletoads is definitely worth checking out if you like those games, because I do remember a block button in Battletoads. So I remember that, and they have a dash, and they have a lot of like nice things that not all beat 'em ups put in.
Yeah.
I think Streets of Rage 4 has like a ton of unlockable characters, so that's something that Battletoads does not have. So you can like unlock a bunch of people to play as, right?
Yeah, you can. I think there's like I want to say 5 different people that you can unlock. A lot of one other thing about Streets of Rage, I don't know if Battletoads has this type of thing, but like the map itself that you're on actually inflicts damage on you. So like you can
mean
walk
like cars
over.
come by, or
No, not cars. They have like down power lines, and they'll have broken glass and stuff like that. Like it inflicts damage on you if you're not careful. So you really have to like. Not only is there not a block button, but you get stuck. Like you can get stuck places and then basically lose a life because you can't block, you can't jump over it. So
and they also have sewer grates. You fall down, and then when you come up, you go, my toe. If you remember all the Ninja Turtles games.
Yeah, that's it.
Where you can fall down the sewer grates.
Splinter comes out and.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be checking it out. It did look neat. I think the graphics look cool. Those beat 'em up games are whatever.
It's a very comic booky style. Like it's not as pixelated as the Genesis ones, which were fun back in the day. But I think that 2020 is not like the year of the brawler.
Yeah. I think it is in terms of releases, but it's not in terms of like fun.
Yeah.
So you told me one. I'm gonna tell you one. I was playing a little bit of the Touryst. Do you know what that is? Touryst.
No,
Touryst.
I've seen it. Is that a Switch game?
It's on Switch, but it's also on Games Pass. So I just turned it on, check it out. It's a unique game. It's like a voxel 3D adventure game where you kind of walk around an island and solve very simple puzzles. Like, oh, I need a smoothie. Okay. I need to make a smoothie. I need 2 of these fruit and 1 of these fruit. Okay, so you go find the fruit, pick them up, take them to the smoothie person. They make the smoothie. You take the smoothie to the other guy. It's cool. It's really cool looking, I would say. Like the graphics are really, really nice. The gameplay itself is kind of whatever. Like I enjoyed the little bit what I played, but imagine a bunch of fetch quests with no experience, and there's some funny dialogue. So your kind of rewards are just how silly the game is.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point, I don't know. I'm so used to games that have so much going on that when it's like, oh, here's this one thing, we do it good. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, I mean, it's definitely worth a try on Games Pass. I would say for free $99, it's worth it.
Yeah, well, yeah, and to add on to that, Streets of Rage is on Games Pass too for free. So I mean, it's if people out there are interested in it. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have to pay for something and you have time to just sit there, and that's what I've always liked about Games Pass is that they have a few things on there that like I've always been curious about but haven't gotten around to, and especially in the vein of like an indie game, something I can play in a couple days, and I'm that's why I keep my subscription going to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man, it's totally worth it. What is something else that you've played this week? I'm seeing that you've played a few things.
So I played arcade. So I'm reviewing currently a game by Mega Cat Studios. So they do they do arcades and they do cartridge reproductions of games. So they'll do like a newer game and put it on like a Sega Genesis cartridge. So right now they sent me one game called Arkagis Revolution, and then another game whose name I can't remember right now, but it looks kind of like a mixture of Donkey Kong and Super Meat Boy. But
Okay.
so Arkagis Revolution is a multi-directional like starship shooter.
Okay.
You know, it's a top down, so you're not like in the cockpit or anything, but you
Okay.
press A and C controls like how you turn right or left, and then the D-pad controls, you know, where you're, you know, going
Moving.
straight, going backwards, where you're moving. Yeah. So, yeah, and the game actually has like fully voiced dialogue in it, but it's very pixeled, if that makes sense. Like it sounds, you know how like the old soundtracks to games had when there's an explosion, it sounded like it was coming out of like an arcade.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm just checking out some pictures. For people who are listening, the game is the exact same as the old 1941 for NES. If you're used to that style game, so you move. Does the screen scroll with you? Because that was like a big thing of all those old games. Like the screen just is scrolling all the time, and you're just kind of moving, or is it more like an adventure where?
No, it's scrolling with you. So it's a very fluid game. I have gotten stuck on one of the bosses and I can't get past it. So this is my complaint about it, is that the game it's a lot of fun. Like it's really fun. It's very fluid. Everything flows really well. You know, you kind of go through these little maps and they kind of describe what's going on, and there's a story to it you're following. It has like an Ender's Game type story. And you get to this part, all the enemies are like they're decently difficult. You know, you have to do a lot of dodging and shooting to get to them. But then you get to this boss, and the boss is like 100 times more powerful than the regular enemies. And everybody thinks that that's like a staple of Sega Genesis culture, but it's not. You know, like I
Yeah.
remember those cartridge games being crazy hard and being incredibly frustrated with them, but they weren't impossible. And there's elements in this game that feel impossible. So like I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to beat this boss again. But you know, if I can't beat the boss within like 30 to 40 minutes, I'm probably just going to give up on it, because while I love the game, it's just a shame to have it be so punishing and
Yeah,
outbalanced compared to the rest of the game.
I definitely think that is a weird thing that we've seen a lot more of, is this idea of just like you need to have punishing gameplay for players, and especially when people are trying to do like homage to an older game, that seems to be their main thing, is like, oh well, old games were hard, so we gotta make them hard. And yeah, they're right, old games are hard, but a lot has changed in, you know, the 30 years or whatever since like that style of game was the predominant, and now, you know, the last 20 years things have changed. The last 10 years specifically, games have become to the point where it's like, yeah, nobody really wants to sit around and smash their head against a boss unless the game's Dark Souls or some other thing like that. So if you make all of your games like that and they don't look very nice, a lot of people are just going to fall off. So
Yeah, and if you're gonna do that type of thing, have I don't know, have like a checkpoint in the boss, because the bosses have like a couple different stages. Don't make you play the whole thing over again. Like have, you know, as soon as the boss like reaches the point where they're damage critical, then have you just start out at that point again, instead of making you like go all the way back and doing all the stages again.
yeah, that style stuff, man. That sounds very frustrating. But whatever, man. I mean, that's just that style of game. Speaking of a game that could be frustrating, and I spoke about it last week, but I think it's not too frustrating for me. Wasteland 3. So I've been playing a little bit more of that. Another Games Pass game came out last Friday. And I just want to bring up, so I messed around with like Divinity Original Sin over the week, because that's like a game that came out, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago on PC, and then fairly shortly after on Xbox and PlayStation. And I wanted to see how it like stacked up against it. And I will say one thing neat that Wasteland does that Divinity definitely didn't do is, in Wasteland and Divinity, you're making characters and parties and stuff. And say one of your characters is really good at lockpicking or persuasion or whatever. In Wasteland, your characters will, so say you're the main party leader and you have a character who has 6 lockpicking, and you need 6 lockpicking to do this, but your main character only has 2 lockpicking, right? Or 0. Well, then if you're next to a thing that needs to be picked, you can just press A, because you have someone in your party who's capable at doing that, as long as they're all selected. But in Divinity, you have to switch between each of the characters who are good at something to actually successfully do it. So it's more standard role-playing fare. Whereas Wasteland is essentially giving some concessions to make something a little bit more fast and fluid and fun.
Yeah, so would you say you have to be more strategic in what you're doing?
If you were playing like a Divinity or something like that, yes. And in Wasteland, I've made some mistakes because I was like building up my characters and not understanding exactly how the game was going to be. So I gave my main character way too many skills, and you really want to just focus on three or four skills. But yeah, I mean, it's just a great game. I can't recommend it enough, especially because it's free for, I think, PC Games Pass as well as Xbox Games Pass. And if you like playing PC games, I think that's where it'd be best. But even if you don't, it's really fun on Xbox. It is janky. It needs like 10 patches. It probably should have come out 2 years from now, honestly. Like, it needs a lot of smoothing. But it's one of those things where I think the studio is so small that maybe now with Microsoft's money, they'll make their next game like incredible. But I just don't think, even if they had 2 years, I don't think they would have spent it on this. They needed to make money. They were that type of studio who back in the day, like, we got to push this out because we got to keep making money, to stay afloat.
And that's a shame too. I mean, you have these smaller studios that do make really great games, but you really get like one opportunity to make a game great. Like if it comes out the gate with problems, people will never let you forget it, and that's a real shame.
Yeah, and the thing is that this is their, I think, fourth game they've made since they formed as a company. They're called In Exile. They're based in Newport Beach. Brian Fargo was part of the original team who made Fallout 1 and 2 and the original Wasteland and Baldur's Gate and all that stuff. They were Black Isle Studios back in the day and all this other stuff. But anyways, or I don't think they were Black Isle, but they had people from Black Isle and stuff like that. So they've had plenty of chances, and they're going to keep getting plenty of chances, and Microsoft bought them. It's not like they're going to stop making games because they make mistakes. But somebody who would rather, and I'm dealing with this now with games being postponed all the time, I would rather, I think, have a game come out good and wait a lot longer than do it right now, where it's like, it is a lot of fun and I'm glad I'm playing it, but I would have been okay if this came out 3 months from now, because there are some bugs where it's like, are they going to patch this, or am I just going to have to deal with this till I get sick of playing the game? And realistically, I'm going to deal with this till I get sick of playing the game.
Yeah.
You were kind of dabbling with something on your Switch recently, I heard.
Yeah,
Birdie told me.
My brother Rabbit. So this was one I've been curious about
for a while. You don't have
a
brother who's a rabbit.
Just hopping around, No, but this is a game I've been curious about. It was like $1 or $2, I think, on Switch. So I'm like, why not? The trailer is really captivating. The music, it had that feel of those like soothing indie games that we talked about with like a Short Hike and stuff like that. So. It seemed like something that I wouldn't mind playing. So I downloaded it, started playing it. It's hard, man.
Well, are you a fan of point-and-click adventure games? That's what that is.
It's a point-and-click adventure game. Yeah, it's yes and no. It depends. Like this one, they give you this like item synthesizing mechanic in here, and they don't explain how to use it. So I'm sitting here trying to like click randomly on things. Does this move? Does that move? No, it doesn't move. What is this for? It keeps pointing that I need to go use this machine. I don't know how to do it.
So it's kind of like your problems with Arkagis. Like, it sounds like Arkagis was really, or Arkagis, I don't know how you say it, but whatever, the previous game, that was very true to that old 30-year-old gameplay style where it's like, hey, this is how the game is. You play it this way. That is how old point and clicks are. That's why I don't play point and click adventure games anymore. I don't know if you remember, there was like a very famous, I cannot remember which one, but it was like, maybe it was a Monkey Island game. But no, I don't think it was Monkey Island. It was a different game. But anyways, there was one where like you had to have somehow come to the fact that you used like a hammer. I can't remember the tools, but it was so obscure and so obtuse that like you had to use a guide to figure these things out. And they don't give you a lot of hints. And, I did play a lot of the Monkey Islands, and they weren't as obtuse, but you still were like, what am I going to do with this chicken? Like you have to use so much like guesswork. And at some point it becomes really boring for me. So I've fallen off those. Like I've wanted to love them. Like I've heard Grim Fandango. That one is supposed to be really good. It's on everything. I've been tempted to buy it multiple times, but every time I play a point and click, I like fall off within like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna keep playing it, or do you think it was like a cool
I don't
experiment?
think so. Like, I'm gonna look up like how to use the synthesizing mechanic, but
Yeah.
and then maybe I'll give the game another like 30 minutes to an hour. But like right now, it's just outside of the soundtrack. Like, it's not what I thought it was gonna be. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, speaking of soundtracks, do
seriously,
you have the time to listen to me praise Tony Hawk 1+2, dude?
Out.
It is here.
Tony Hawk
it
3?
is
that
dope.
1+2?
Shut up. Shut up. The marketing team right now. Shut up. It's 1+2. Shut up. The game is incredible, and it is 3. No, I this does make me want like 3, 4. It makes me want all of them. It's Tony Hawk 1 and 2. It is totally remade. But by remade, I mean it is remade to play exactly like you remember it from the 90s, 2000s. I can't remember when the original Tony Hawk came out. Either 99 or 98 or like 2000. But yeah, it's incredible. Soundtracks there. You got your Bad Religion. You got your I think Offspring.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's been really good. The Goldfinger Superman obviously is in there. All the challenges are the same. You can make your skater. So what they did that I'm loving, that is something that they could have totally botched, is they brought all the movesets from, I think, Tony Hawk 1 through 4. So you can't get off the board, but everything up to then. But they put it in this, so like if you played a lot of Tony Hawks, it feels like what you'd imagine. Like you can manual. You remember manualing in Tony Hawk? Like yeah. So that wasn't, I don't think that was created till Tony Hawk 2. But you can manual in Tony Hawk 1. So like you have options that you just didn't have. And do you remember the revert where you switch your foot?
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive that wasn't around till 3. At least 2, but around 2 or 3. I don't remember Tony Hawk 1 reverting.
I'd have to go back because I have it on Nintendo 64, so maybe I'll go back and check it out, and I'll be able to answer that question next episode.
Yeah, and you got to remember that. All the fans are waiting, man. Bated breath. And they also add lip tricks, which I'm 100% positive weren't in 1. I don't know which one they were created in, where you could like hold the lip of a half pipe or whatever. Those were in this as well. So like you have the movesets that you want. You can create a character. You can add the special moves. You can find stat points around all the levels. You can add stats to your characters. You can lower the stats and add other points if you need. All the characters have different stat pools, so you can play as all of them if you want to like keep unlocking stuff. There's a creative park mode. There's a multiplayer mode where you can play either local split screen or 8-player online or 2 people online or whatever you want. You could play horse. You could play graffiti. You could play trick attack. Every map is there from Tony Hawk 1 and 2. So Bullring, Roswell, School 2, School 1, Mall, Downtown, Downhill Jam. I mean, you name it, man. It's like, it is so good. And for $40, like they could have charged $60 and I still would be like, wow, that's great. For $40, it's incredible. And there's a lot of new stuff added where there's like a bunch of challenges and you can do those challenges and they'll give you more money and the money goes to the skate shop and the skate shop goes and you can buy stuff. But like, I at least haven't seen a microtransaction yet. So it's been like an incredible experience where it's like, there's a skate shop. There is a place where you spend a currency in the game. I am totally was expected to be like, oh, yeah, spend some real money. You know, this is way out of your league. But no, it's awesome. It is such a good remake. I can't recommend enough. Super glad I'm playing it. I'm almost done with the whole thing. I finished all Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 with all the challenges. I've technically finished Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, but I'm still doing all the challenges and getting the stat points and stuff. So they're not long games. I mean, if you play them, like I've taken breaks and played other things, but and we're recording on a Monday, so the game came out on Friday. So it's not like I've been I probably played like 8 hours, and I'm almost done with both of them, and I've played a bunch of other stuff too.
Okay.
Are you thinking about getting it or no?
I would like to. Yeah, I gotta kind of evaluate, what I want to play in the coming months. See what the budget looks like.
Yeah, man. September got a little bit rowdy right now, but the good news for you is if you're like budgeting, I mean, as of right now, besides the very end of October, I couldn't tell you a single game launching the first 3 weeks of October.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this isn't an episode where we're doing like the rundown of the end of the year, but I feel like we do that anyways a lot because I like talking about that stuff. But like, they're till Watch Dogs Legion, and which is when Pikmin 3, and there's a car alarm that I was setting off by throwing stuff at it while I was on the podcast, just so you guys know. I'm also that good that I throw stuff at cars. Let's see how long it's gonna be. Super PS. So after I was done finally vandalizing all those cars. Oh wait, we're back. No, that car alarm finally ended.
Frank, put the spray paint down, man. Jeez.
Yeah, there ain't nothing like doing a live podcast while spray painting vehicles on the streets in the morning.
Shh, that's spray paint leaking from a can right now.
Yeah, next to a police station, because I actually live very close to a police station. That's where I like to spray paint the most, is right outside, and they give me high fives while they drive by.
Yeah, they do.
Anyways, the news is going to be off the chain today, okay? It is, we got stuff we can't talk about yet because the Ubisoft Forward is coming out September, let me see if I can read my notes, like what, September 13th? Oh, September 10th.
September 10th.
September 10th, right? And we are finally getting it, dudes. We are getting Legends of the Guardians of Ga'Hoole 2. Everybody was like, Zack Snyder, are you going to do your masterpiece and make a sequel to it? And he's like, I don't know, will I? Ubisoft's going to announce it. Guardians of Ga'Hoole 2. I know Josh is looking very confused.
Yeah.
No, that is because we have had a really, really cool game called Gods and Monsters renamed to the best name ever, Immortals Phoenix Rising, with Phoenix misspelled. It's now a Marcus Phoenix joint. And it's joined by Rise of the Guardians stars Santa Claus and all the other characters.
The Holiday Avengers.
It's probably the dumbest name ever. I think Gods and Monsters was actually like a pretty cool name and a game I would have been like, oh yeah, I'll pick up Gods and Monsters. And now this sounds like a B tier name. Immortals Phoenix Rising. It is so stupid. Give us your thoughts on the
name. It's a mouthful.
You love it.
It doesn't.
You love it.
It doesn't have the same like Greek connotations that Gods and Monsters had. I wonder why the name changed.
Yeah. I also don't know why I'm sure we're gonna find out because I'm sure some characters named Phoenix, spelt Fenix, but it's bad. It's just not good. It's a horrible idea. Whatever. I mean, it's their game. It's not ours. So I can't wait to find out more about that. But honestly, that name change has me less excited for the game as a whole. I know that's very shallow, but it's just like I am curious now. Did this get like moved to B tier Legends of Korra Platinum style games where it's like, oh, this is trash. This is a dumpster fire. And so that's why it's called Legends of Korra. Yeah. And anyways, you had one other small piece of news, right? Before we get to our celebration.
Yeah, what was it? I'm like blanking out on what it was now.
Something about Sony not having...
Yeah, I don't know where
Preach.
The reports came from, but I guess Sony's not going to be having backwards... Yeah, it came from our friend Brank.com here. Verified news source. Sony will not be doing backwards compatibility. That seems interesting to me. Do you think that is for like the whole catalog, or maybe they'll have like certain titles?
I don't know, man. I was like, that was the thing I was the most excited for when I had heard the rumors. I think it was like early this year was when the rumors started. Like, oh, it's going to have a PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. And I was like, oh, man, this is going to be really, really cool. Obviously, that is not going to happen. We should have guessed that, by midsummer, and I kind of had assumed that. But yeah, Ubisoft kind of leaked that, hey, you won't be able to play your PS1, PS2, or PS3 games. Sony probably talked to them. That got taken off the Ubisoft site. Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll hopefully let us play the PS2 games we repurchased on our PS4, because if they don't even allow that, then what are we doing? But, they're not even saying that all PS4 games are going to work on PS5. So if you are buying a PlayStation 5, buyer beware, your old games may not work. And if that doesn't matter to you, totally fine. I kind of get pissed when it's like, oh, I spent a lot of money on this thing. So my options are save a giant piece of hardware that, has to hopefully keep working to play it and then keep it around so I can plug it in whenever I want to try it.
Yeah.
Or never touch these things and sell them all or figure out what to do with them. I'd much rather just keep the games, which are a lot smaller, and sell the system.
Yeah.
But
why not?
We'll see, man. This isn't a conversation. Oh, real quick about it though. Were you going to get it if it had the backwards compatibility? What selling was that a selling point to you?
No,
what did you think about it?
I just it's annoying to have to play because I collect old games, so it's annoying to have to
in a shoebox.
Yeah, in a shoebox. So, but it's annoying to have to unplug something and then plug something else in every time I want to play. I would
totally
love
agree.
to be able to just pop a PlayStation 1 disc into the PlayStation 5 and have it work. I get that they're different discs, but different game disc types, but it would be nice is what I'm trying to say.
I totally agree, man. And I am, not surprised, but I definitely was wishing that it was possible. And anything is still possible. It's not confirmed. This was a post on Ubisoft's site. But whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to happen, and I wouldn't get your hopes up for it. So the real thing to get our hopes up for and to raise the roof was the Super Mario 35th Anniversary Surprise Direct. It was very surprising. I woke up one morning and I read the news. I was like, oh, there was a Direct that happened. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. That kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. We'll go through the pieces beat by beat because I think most of it was pretty cool. It is a Mario Direct. There is nothing non-Mario related that they discussed. So don't get your hopes up like I was that maybe there would be one more Direct this year with more stuff than one game.
Yeah.
But, that's just not Nintendo's way of doing stuff this year, so it's not going to happen. But they kicked it off with kind of a banger, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. So they use the All-Stars branding. It releases September 18th, and it's Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, $60 on Switch. Before we get into too much else about it, give me some thoughts about this. Are you excited for it? What do you feel?
So I am excited about it. I don't like the limited release window. It kind of bothers me. And you're probably going to speak more to the quality of Mario 64. So we're not really getting a remaster as much as we're getting an up-resed version of it. I have on one of my favorite Mario games is Mario Galaxy. So I am excited to be able to jump into that game again. Never played Mario Sunshine, so I'm eager to play that, and I'm definitely eager to go. Is it?
It's a weird one. It's the weirdest one. I think it's still enjoyable, but I haven't played in so long. It's just there's you have a backpack that talks named Flood. You jetpack around. It's weird, but I think it will probably be pretty fun.
So I guess my big question here is: do you think they'll do Mario Galaxy 2?
Yeah, man.
At some point,
I am, and please, if there are people listening, please know that I am super excited for this. I'm going to come off extremely negative because the rumors were so grandiose that this got me a little bit bummed out when the actuality was there. The only thing that got me really excited was the date, September 18th. This was soon. The recent rumor had pegged it at a December release, so I was amazed when it's it's coming out soon. There's a lot of issues, and I'll just go over my main issues. Main issue is, like you said, it's up-res. The rumor was it was originally going to be a Super Mario 64 remake, which would have been incredible. Maybe in the Odyssey engine, which would have been phenomenal.
Yeah,
but
that
even not
cool.
that. Yeah, even if it wasn't that, just even a remaster. I mean, this one doesn't even support widescreen, so there are giant black boxes around the game screen because it's not created for that formatted screen size. And, I was thinking about it, 2 days ago or so, but I paid $10 for that game on my Wii. It is kind of crazy to think I'm paying essentially $20 for each of these now. I'm still happy to do it, but I'm just saying, on my Wii, that was at least stretched enough so it would cover the screen. This isn't out yet. Maybe that's just they decided to take the worst promotional pictures ever, and there's not going to be giant black borders around the game, but till I play it and know for a fact, I'm assuming those pictures are what the game will look like.
Yeah.
The ones on the eShop.
Well, here's the thing, too, that it is the Switch, and it is Mario, and it is Nintendo.
Yeah.
They could probably charge $120 for this game, and people would still pay that for it.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, the $60 is like a small complaint. I was just thinking about how I bought those games on the Wii for like a lot lower. Yeah, the price wise, they could have easily charged $90, $30 a piece, and I still would have paid too. And I think they know that. That's why these are just like the ROMs essentially with some up-resing. This is putting your DVD in a Blu-ray player. That's like kind of what this is doing. It's not really, as far as I know, it doesn't seem like it's recreating the models. My next biggest complaint is the fact that it's only around till the end of March. I don't like when they force scarcity on stuff. I don't understand why this is a necessity. I guess that's what they did with the original Super Mario All-Stars, but just because you make one dumb decision doesn't mean you have to make two. You know, it doesn't make second dumb decision. Oh, that's good decision.
Well, I wonder, like, what is the deal with the limited release? Is it to like keep people wanting it, or is it because Mario games they all hold a lot of value, even like the retro ones. Like you go onto eBay and you want a new copy of Mario 64, you're easily paying like $300 for it. So they do maintain value.
Yeah, I have no clue, man. It is one of those things where maybe they're putting it out because someone like me was tempted to buy both because I want it digital, but I also don't want to lose my copy, and because it's going to be pulled off the eShop. That is one of the things I want to remind you guys as well. This isn't just limited time in the store. This is also limited for digital, which is insane. There is no quantity of digital products. They are infinite. That's why they're digital. Yeah, man, I don't know. But I'm tempted to buy two copies just because I have no clue what's going on. Some people are theorizing and hoping that after it's done, they'll still keep selling them. Maybe they'll piecemeal them. Maybe they'll add Galaxy 2 and piecemeal them. But I'm not – this is Nintendo. I'm not going to hope for anything other than that they do what they said they'll do, you know, because they're pretty good at doing that. But a lot of the rumors and hopes I've read over the years, just they're always letdowns.
Yeah.
Otherwise, beyond that, I am insanely excited to play these games. I cannot wait for September 18th. This is like I've been waiting to play 3D platformers for a while. Almost picked up SpongeBob remake that came out in the summer because I just want to play a good 3D platformer.
Yeah.
But I've been I'm ready for this, man. The next thing that they talked about was Mario Kart Live. Did you guys see this?
Yeah, it looks cool. It has this like augmented reality feel to it. So like you are playing, you have the remote control Mario Kart, and then it's creating this track on the Switch screen, which is really cool. And I wonder, if this is going to be, if there's going to be an issue with lag time between the car's camera and the Switch. Or if they're going to have issues with, like, say you get another person with a Mario Kart 2, are you going to have issues with those things crossing over?
So, yeah, I think it looks incredible. I think it looks amazing. It is, like you said, it looks like a remote control car. It has a camera on it, so it produces, like, AR video that connects to your Switch. I am not sure how yet. We'll probably find that out. 1 second. There is some people showing how cool they are on a motorcycle. But, yeah, I'm not sure about those things. The way you set up the courses, you use the 4 little, arches that they have, and that's how you can design your course. The other thing I am curious about is because you're playing predominantly on a screen, I'm wondering if say you put a second Mario Kart down, like a Mario Kart, and you had 2 players playing, like, will they pass each other, or does that remote control vehicle just stay on a singular course? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it essentially just going around a course at a slow speed the entire time and stopping when you stop? Or if there's 2 cars and you pass the other car, does it also pass things? So there's a lot that I'm interested in. I mean, it comes out pretty soon, October 16th. So there's maybe no games, but there's cool toys. But it's $100, dude. Like it's not bad, but it's also not like something where, I mean, yeah, I don't have kids. I'm not going to go out and buy it now at that price. But
do you think though that it's going to end up like what's that Switch Ring game where it's going to be really hard to find?
Ring Fit. I actually have a Ring Fit. Ring Fit is now pretty easy to find, and I wish I would have waited a little bit longer. It's $10 cheaper a lot of places. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to become like Ring Fit. I think it has a better chance of becoming like Ring Fit than what was that weird thing they came out with? That was the cardboard box that we talked about when Super BS started.
The not Amiibo.
No, it's got a very unique name, and I'm gonna check it out because it will drive me insane. Labo. So
yeah.
I'm just curious. Like, I don't think it'll be like Labo because obviously this is a remote control car with Mario or Luigi. I don't know how many characters there are, but like, so I think it's gonna sell. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure it is a remote control car, meaning like I don't know if you can use it outside of the game. So that might make it a little bit of a tougher sell because that means you need to own like pretty much a $200 or $300 system on top of now another $100 car. So we'll see. It's Nintendo. We're gonna find out a lot. I wouldn't put it past it being like the top selling item this year or the number one toy for Christmas. But yeah, I think it's cool. Hopefully we know somebody who gets it so I can see it in motion. The next thing they talked about was something I have no interest in, Game & Watch, Super Mario Brothers, $50 coming out November 15th. We've all seen those Game & Watch style handhelds created before the Game Boy. Mm-hmm. You know, black screen, monochromatic, I want to say is what the type of thing it is normally. This looks a little bit better than that. I'm not interested in this thing at all. Are you?
No, not at all. I have outside the Switch, I have very little time to do any other type of like handheld gaming, so this is not even something that crossed my radar.
Even at $20, I wouldn't have been interested. But at 50, it was like, don't care. Super Mario 3D World from the Wii U is coming out with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. That comes out February, looks like 12th, 2021. So that's a weird one because that's obviously not part of this weird timed thing they're doing with some of their other titles where it will only be around till March 31st, 2021. But yeah, I played Super Mario 3D World on Wii U. I did not love it back then, but I do want to try it because I've heard it's great by Dr. Donna, and it seemed fun. I just hated the Wii U. I could not stand playing on that thing. I only played one game on it.
Yeah, that was the Nintendo generation that I skipped.
You were smart. I hated the Wii U. I got it because like, hey, I got it late enough where it was a little bit on sale and I could move all my Wii stuff over. So I was like, oh, I can get rid of my Wii. I'll get a Wii U. Great. And then I got that Fisher-Price looking box that came with it, and it is just such trash. It is like plastic garbage that they give you with that thing. Are you going to play Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury?
I'm interested in it because I never got to play that one. So maybe if it's something, I want to see like what it looks like. I want to maybe watch some gameplay videos first, but it's possible that it could be something that I'm into.
Yeah. It's I want to get it. It's $60, which is a fair price for it, but it's just like it's just so hard to be like, oh yeah, this 6-year-old game, it's coming out full price again. Like I did that with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Maybe I'll pick this up physical and sell it off like I did that thing when I'm done with it. But yeah, it's just Nintendo games coming out full price when they're old is always a little bit of a harder sell for me.
Yeah.
The next thing they announced was Super Mario Brothers 35. This is a Nintendo Switch Online title. It comes out October 1st, and it is one of the games that is also leaving March. I wrote March 3rd, but I think it's March 31st, 2021. And it is like Tetris 99, so it's free with your Nintendo Switch Online subscription. It is like that exact same gameplay, so it's a battle royale where you play Super Mario Brothers, and there's 35 other people playing, and depending on how good you do, you can send enemies to their screen. It looks real neat. I might actually subscribe for a month or two or for a year because it's so cheap to Nintendo Switch Online to try this out.
Yeah. It's something that I'm intrigued by, but I'm not good at competitive games.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is though, you're essentially just playing Mario. It's whoever plays Mario. You know what I mean? The best. So you're not like competing. You're just playing Mario.
But just being able to see everybody else's screen is going to give me anxiety.
Okay. The next thing that they announced, and this was the only thing that dropped that day, was Super Mario All-Stars came to the Nintendo Switch Online, Super Nintendo Entertainment Collection, whatever it's called on that service. I think that is also one of the timed ones that is leaving March of next year.
Wait, so do you have to be on their online service to get it, or can you buy it outright?
No, you can't buy any of these things. These are all just they're kind of like their Netflix. So you pay $20 a year and you get the Nintendo. I mean, it's a reasonable price, but yeah, like you, I just don't trust Nintendo. I don't trust them though with my purchases either. So I guess it doesn't matter anyways, because if they don't want you to play the game and they want to resell it to you, they'll just cut off your ways to play it. So I would like to try that. I have not played Super Mario All-Stars since the Super Nintendo. I loved that game back in the day. Do you have any relationship with that game?
No,
biblically,
sorry, I'm trying to like. I see what.
Well, I mean, you said yes. You said yes. You did have a relationship biblically.
No, I haven't. I'm trying to read like what's on it. It's got Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers Lost Levels, Mario Brothers 2, Mario Brothers 3. No, but I mean, I imagine it's fun. I mean, if I could buy it now on Switch, I would definitely do that. But
well, how about this? You can't buy it, and you can pay them $20 a year, and you get it. So there you go. You win.
That seems fair.
Exactly what you wanted, okay? You did not want to buy it. You wanted to give them $20 a year. Do that now.
Yeah.
Dr. Donna did bring up a good point, though, about this when we were talking about is Super Mario All-Stars, the original, all four of the original Mario games, because it has Mario 2, both the US and the Japanese version, are remade in the Super Mario 3D World engine, which is really, really neat. So why couldn't they have done that with Super Mario 3D All-Stars, where they're all remade in the Odyssey engine, which would have been like an incredible thing, because Odyssey controls like a dream. You know what I mean? Like, I get that would have been a much higher undertaking, but at least make 64 in that. They have a, spoilers for whoever hasn't played Super Mario Odyssey, but they have a Mushroom Kingdom from Super Mario 64 level at the end of Odyssey. Like, they could have built off of that. Like, it exists. Anyways, enough of my complaining and ranting about that. That is neat. We're going to do a real quick topic for today because we're going a little bit long, and I got to get me some breakfast. This is recording in the morning, my bros. So everybody knows when you got a bro who's hungry, you got to let him out. But we're going to finish with our top 5 Mario games. No honorable mentions, just 5 from each of us. You ready?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Our top 5 Marios it is in celebration of Mario. Yeah, so you want me to go or you want to go?
You can go, man. Start us off. Kick it off.
I'll start with my 5th favorite Mario game is, and these are just the platformers, not the karts, not the tennises, not all the other Mario games that they have. I should have actually told you that.
Yeah, no, you didn't specify, so cool.
Oh, do you have a lot of stuff that's not?
No, I have one.
Okay.
I have one card.
Okay, well, whatever. Keep it on there. Keep it on there. But that's why I didn't choose those. I always forget to tell you a major plot point of these things. But anyways, these are platformers, at least in my list. So that's why you're not going to hear any karts or tennises or golfs. My 5th favorite Mario game is Super Mario Galaxy 2. On the Wii. I think it went above and beyond Super Mario Galaxy in every way. The only thing I did not like as much was the hub, but even that is easy to overlook when every world was just, in my opinion, 100 times better. I had a lot of issues with Super Mario Galaxy. I loved Galaxy 2. Any thoughts on it?
So I have never played Galaxy 2. It's a weird time. All like these Switch games came out at a point when like I had just...
You mean Wii games?
Wii games came out at a point where like there was Xbox 360 games I wanted to play, and I had friends who played online, and I played online with them, so I didn't really have a lot of time to go back and play the Switch. So, I did play Mario Galaxy, loved it, but never got the chance to play Mario Galaxy 2 just because there were other things out at the time that I was more interested in. So that would be like where I would love to have an add-on or some kind of like release further down the line that has Mario Galaxy on it, or Mario Galaxy 2, sorry.
Yeah, I'm there with you, brother. I hope that happens. What's your number 5? Hit me with it.
So my number 5 is Super Mario 2.
Super Mario Brothers 2, like the old NES game?
Yeah.
Where you play as the 4 different characters?
Yeah, so this was like this is kind of my introduction to like Mario games, because I had only done Sonic up to that point because all my friends had Genesis growing up. So this is like my introduction. This is like my dentist had this game.
Oh wow!
on his.
And you were best friends with your dentist. Everybody knows that.
But like I would go in there and I would play Super Mario like while my brother and sister were getting their teeth worked on.
Go to your house. Go to his house. That's where you do all your
in the waiting room. In the waiting room, it was not. I'm just kidding. I don't know. You could be right. No, but yeah, no. It was like it was my introduction to the world of Mario. You know, and then I got a Game Boy and was given those games for Christmas and stuff. But
yeah,
it was fun, man. It was like a platformer. It wasn't quite like the style and speed of Sonic, which was nice.
Yeah.
You know, it had
Mario Bros. 2 is weird.
Yeah, and you had to like, I thought it was fun having like the question mark boxes you had to jump up and hit, and but yeah, I mean that's not really much else to say about it. Would I go back and play it today? Probably not. But you know,
it
I
doesn't
do
hold up
remember,
super well.
Yeah, but I do remember enjoying it for the time I got to spend with it.
Yeah. Just a tidbit fact, that game is, I think, really from the Doki Doki Panic games or something like that, and it's not actually, they renamed it Mario here because nobody would have played those. But yeah, it's cool. I like that game a lot. My number 4 is Super Mario Brothers 3, also on NES. I think that game is just so good. Like, a lot of people would put it probably as number 1 or number 2, but for me, I'm a 3D boy, okay? But yeah, I love Super Mario Bros. 3. I played it a bunch. It was probably one of the first games I've ever finished. I remember getting the whistle flutes and the warp flutes and, you know, going around and doing all this stuff. It's really incredible. Frog suit, raccoon suit, tanuki suit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got to change your costumes in that one.
That was the first one. Yeah, the first one that allowed that.
Yeah.
What's your...
Did they have perks on them, any of them, or was it just...
I mean, they had perks, but you had to get your skill points super high, so
Okay.
it was really tricky getting all those skills up, and then you had to choose between your attributes and your perks and such. What's your number 4?
So my number 4 here, I have Mario 64.
Mario 64? That's your 4th? Oh my goodness!
Well,
okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to pick here, but yeah. Anyways, like this was. Growing up, like I didn't have a Nintendo 64, so I'd play at friends' houses, and like I would always, you know, wait till everybody fell asleep, and then I would play Mario 64 because.
Sorry, we just had a ninja in the video, so it was very cool. There was some ninja sneaking around the back of your video. Go ahead, so Mario.
Yeah, so Mario 64, yeah, I would like go play it at friends' houses, and like I always liked when, you know, I'd be crashing at their place and they'd fall asleep, so I can just play Super Mario 64 for hours without having to worry about giving them the controller.
Oh yeah, that game is so great.
It is great. It's like this was the first like 3D platforming version of Mario, and it was everything about it was perfect, you know. And just being able to jump in and out of the paintings and wandering around Peach's castle, I had a blast with this game, and I remember buying it on the Wii, like we were talking about earlier, and just having a great time with it, even as a adult male in my 20s. Like I still enjoyed going back to that world, and I have a feeling that I'm going to love it just as much when it comes out on Switch.
Yeah, man, same. I love that game. I am going to rush mine a little bit. I'm doing for 3 Super Mario World. Great game, super fun. The way you could go through like 2 different exits to the stage, go around the world map. There were secret worlds, secret levels. Incredible. Loved that game. What are you feeling for your number 3?
Mario Galaxy. We've already kind of talked about this one, and I just love the new aesthetic, right? You're kind of going outside of the Mushroom Kingdom for once. You're kind of getting to see what else is out there. What is Mario doing? Really great game. Would love to go back to it again.
Well, you will get to
play Mario Galaxy 2, but
oh yeah,
one.
Well,
thing
at least you'll get your
right?
dream for 1. You'll get that like in 2 weeks here.
There we go.
I'm surprised we really haven't had any crossover on this list yet. My number 2 is Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, we've talked ad nauseum about that game on Super BS, years ago. I could go into it more, but I won't. I love it. It's incredible. It would make number 1, but nostalgia is a very powerful thing. Super Mario Odyssey is just phenomenal. Play it if you haven't.
Okay.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Mario Kart 64.
Oh, nice. That is also a very good nostalgic game.
It's a game that it's good every time you turn it on, man. It's just what else can be said about it that hasn't been said, a million times in the past, but it's a fun game. every time. It's the perfect party game. You know, this was before Halo, and so you have a bunch of friends come over, plug in the 4 controllers, and boom, 6 to 7 hours of gameplay. You know, depending on
I don't know,
when
man.
Your mom's had to come pick you up from people's houses.
GoldenEye with proximity mines is also a pretty fun, fun 4-player experience at that time.
But
no,
give you that.
Mario Kart 64 is very fun. My number one, and I'm not going to talk too long about it because we already talked about it earlier, is Super Mario 64. That game is just amazing. I got a Nintendo 64 the holiday season that it launched, and I played that game to death. I got all 120 stars. I love it. I cannot wait to play it in 2 more weeks.
Yeah,
I think it's still my favorite.
Same. Hopefully without the black bars, but we'll see. My number one is Mario Odyssey, just for the reasons that we discussed before. I don't know. It's just like took everything I loved about Mario and just made it better.
Yeah, I'm totally there with you. I was thinking, is that my number one? Is Mario 64 my number 2? I have so many memories of 64 is the reason why I played 64 like 4 times. I played Mario Odyssey twice, mind you. Like, I think it's an incredible game, but Mario 64, I'm there with you. Mario Odyssey, just that feeling, Cappy, all the costumes, all the abilities. It's just a celebration, like, is what it feels like. It feels like you're at a parade. You're like, what? I love everything here, you know? Like, yeah, man. But we will be kicking back soon with some more lists and some more news and probably that Ubisoft Forward and some more games. Do you have anything you want to let everybody know before we start hitting the hay?
Just find us on Anchor.fm. You know, look for Anchor.fm, iTunes, Pod. I don't think we're on Podbean anymore.
Look for biz.gov. Go to edd.ca.gov. Check Social Security SSI.
Find
Snap.
us on Match.com, FarmersOnly.com.
Yeah, mainly Farmers Only, but I also added a Medicaid link just when you're looking for your Medicaid. We also are there. That's where you can listen to us while you're waiting on the phone. I got us on the government line, so when you're on waiting, you have this podcast
you can
playing.
Listen to the podcast while you're
that's the future podcast, man. That's what we're all about here at CBS is trying to get on those.
We could only hope.
Okay, my brother. Well, we will talk soon. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, yeah.